This is Ming the Money Alchemist. My intention for this podcast is that it amps up our manifesting game for this year. Each call will play with a topic related to money, and we'll have a practice, and we're going to have some fun around it. Please join me, and we're going to have a great time. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. All right, this is kind of part 2 on if you can imagine it, you can have it. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about a house, a car, and the point was to raise our focus on if you wanted to manifest being a millionaire or even a multimillionaire. The point is, if we can imagine it, we can have it. So we last touched on money, and we ended with, would you want to have a wealth manager? Now, the first time I ever heard this term, I was like, wow, this is really cool. I've never heard of one. And then I started thinking about it. What is a wealth manager? Now, in the Muggle world, it's somebody that's kind of like a financial advisor or somebody that deals with high net wealth with clients to grow and preserve their wealth. All right, well, we know that the goal is to move from lack consciousness to wealth consciousness. And you can read more about wealth consciousness in my book, The Equation of Money. And it's just to see the abundance around us and not focusing on the lack. If we focus on lack, we become in that lack state. We want to practice literally moving into wealth consciousness, so that's a place that we reside in. That's where we live in. So again, a wealth manager. Yes. What would that look like to you? I always thought it would be really cool to, wake up in the morning with my breakfast, get together with my team, and talk about what we were going to create for that day, or maybe for the week. And just get together all these like-minded people. I always wanted to create a think tank, a spiritual think tank, and get like-minded people to think about and create. I thought it would just be a lot of fun. Well, what's been interesting is that I got to experience some of this in my 3D world. And I've been meeting a lot of different people that deal with money. Yeah, a lot of CPAs, but then a lot of CPAs that deal with maybe $5 million assets, $10 million, $30 million, even more, that they've had experience. It really is just zeros and numbers, right? But at first you're kind of, when you hear about it, you're like, wow, that's a lot of money. Or I've been talking to a lot of attorneys. There's attorneys for different kinds of wealth. A lot of it has to do with, taxes and gains and knowing the laws of a particular state, such as California or Washington, or wherever you are. Or what if you wanted to purchase some real estate out of the country? Or what if you wanted to sell real estate out of the country? There's all these different things to learn. And it's so interesting to put a little bit of focus on it, and it starts to come into your reality. So what would that look like? I mean, you want to have smart people on your team, right? Or would you want to do it, with your friends? It's just interesting, just to put a little bit of focus on it and how that would grow. What kind of team would you have to manage your money? It's interesting. What kind of bank would you choose? Or would you choose cryptocurrency? Would you choose gold, silver? All kinds of things to look at. Would you choose mutual funds, stocks, or would you do a little bit of everything? So, or real estate, commercial real estate, regular real estate, right? So as you expand your mind into wealth, think about how you'd like to distribute it. Would you just like to have it in suitcases and hide it under your bed? I mean, there's all kinds of things. It's just really to use your imagination and to kind of sit there and ponder it a little bit. Think about it. Maybe write it out. What would that look like to you? First of all, get into the feeling of it. How does it feel? What would it feel like? Would you create a foundation? Would you create a company? Would you create an LLC? What would you do? So, remember, if you can focus on it, it will grow. If you can imagine it, you can have it. And think about, what is it that you would want to co-create in your life? Remember, you get to choose. So let's expand our minds and play with this a little bit. And if you want to join my private Facebook group, Manifest Blue Money, we're always in there playing and expanding and focusing on our blue money. So feel free to join me there. And if you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I think next month we'll have some more guests coming on, and they're going to talk about their experience on creating wealth, or what it is for them, or what are their challenges. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me and listening in. Please go to manifestbluemoney.com for a free chapter to download from my book, Money Blues to Blue Money. See you next time.